Again, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angelica and I am a relationship coach. Today I would like to react to a fun scene from The 20 is 40 with Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann. The scene shows so beautifully how I statements and expressing your feelings can go totally wrong. Here is just some quick background on the movie plot. Pete and Debbie are married. They have two daughters, 13 and 8 years old, and they're both having their 40th birthdays during the time frame of the movie. Pete is trying to keep his record label afloat, and they're struggling financially. They're also juggling aging parents, maturing children, and the shock of a third baby being on the way. Prior to the scene that we're going to watch, Debbie had asked Pete to stop lending his dad Larry money because it's hurting them financially. But Pete's dad managed to guilt his son into lending him more money. So let's see how they do with this conflict interaction. I'll just take myself out of the way here so you can enjoy the movie. Here we go.
Why are you giving Larry money? I know everything. I talked to the accountant.
All right, you know what? I don't want to get into some nasty fight. So can we please talk to each other the way the therapist told us to talk to each other?
Fine. It makes me feel sad when you are dishonest.
I understand it makes you feel bad when I am dishonest with you. It hurts my feelings when you treat me with contempt and corner me and try and trick me into lying.
Okay? It makes me sad when it's so easy to trick you into lying because you're such a lying shitbag.
That's not, you can't do that. You can't do that. The therapist said you're not allowed to judge me.
That's not a judgment, that's just a fact.
Fair enough. Sometimes I withhold truth. That is true. But it's only because I'm scared to death of your crazy-ass, illogical overreactions.
Well, it hurts me inside and triggers me when you're such a dishonest shit that you're lending your father money without telling me while your record company's going bankrupt and we're on the verge of losing our fucking house!
Being human, we can all see how this conversation can go so wrong. We laugh at this tragic comedy because we recognize ourselves, our own feelings, what we would like to say sometimes, or what we do say. Let's play the scene slowly again and analyze those moments where one or both of them could have stopped the derailing train by responding differently.
Why are you giving Larry money? I know everything. I talked to the accountant.
All right, you know what? I don't want to get into some nasty fight. So can we please talk to each other the way the therapist told us to talk to each other?
Fine.
I have to give that a thumbs up or 2 thumbs up because that is a great comment. His suggestion is excellent. He sees a potential fight looming at the horizon and wants to use the new learned skills. The only problem is that applying new skills takes practice, as we can see.
It makes me feel sad when you are dishonest.
Debbie is trying to make I statements and name a vulnerable feeling. And it's possible that Debbie feels sadness underneath her anger and fear, but she does not connect her feelings right, nor does she express other feelings than this blanket, I feel sad. She does not feel sad because of what he, but because of the story she tells herself about what he does. And that needs to be her starting point. It would be way more beneficial if she said something like, when you lend your dad money behind my back, I make that mean that I cannot trust you or count on you. When I tell myself that I cannot trust you to make sound financial decisions for our family or be honest with me, I feel scared and alone. I also feel sad because I want us to be a team. Pete reflects back that he understands how she feels. That is good. However, their therapist must have missed to explain to them that it's not the other person's behavior that makes us feel a certain way, but what we make their behavior mean. So his dishonesty triggers an inner narrative for her. Based on that understanding, his answer could have been something like, Debbie, I understand that you feel scared about our financial situation and that you feel alone and betrayed when I give money to my dad.
It hurts my feelings when contempt and corner me and try and trick me into lying.
And muddies the water with bringing in his own feelings. It becomes a tit for tat. He does not take time to fully acknowledge her feelings and fears, but instead he basically says, "You also make me feel bad." The best approach is to deal with one person's experience at a time. He also excuses her of cornering him and tricking him into lying. That is, of course, defensive and deflective instead of taking full responsibility for keeping a secret from her. The only correct response in a situation like this is one that shows he's owning his mistake and apologizing to her. So something like, "You're right, I should not have kept this from you. I'm so sorry that you had to find out like this. I should have told you that I let my dad guilt me into giving him money again."
It makes me sad when it's so easy to trick you into lying because you're such a lying shitbag.
Now the dialogue slides into comedy by using the same stereotypical phrase, "It makes me feel sad when." However, Debbie does not feel sad at all, but angry. And underneath that anger, she most likely feels afraid for their family. She might feel powerless and helpless and has no idea how to address the lying and how to get to a place of making financial decisions together with her husband. Name calling, like "you lying shitbag," is of course totally inappropriate and escalates any conflict. Name calling has no place in an interaction between two loving partners.
You can't do that. You can't do that. The therapist said you're not allowed to judge me.
"You're not allowed to judge me" is an interesting phrase as far as I'm concerned. Of course, we are allowed to judge others. In fact, as human beings, we walk around and judge others all day long. That's how we make sense of our world. Good, bad, right, wrong. However, for a productive conversation, we need to move beyond right and wrong and not call our partner any derogative names.
Judgment, that's just a fact.
Fair enough. Sometimes I withhold truth. That is true. But it's only because I'm scared to death of crazy-ass, illogical overreactions.
Well,
once again, he blames her for his lying, which is immature, and keeps them stuck in this loop of fear and dishonesty. He also now resorts to calling her names and accuses her of overreacting instead of trying to understand her fears and acknowledging what it must be like to be lied to and deceived. All right, let's finish this scene and we'll talk a little bit more.
It hurts me inside and triggers me when you're such a dishonest shit that you're lending your father money without telling me while your record company's going bankrupt and we're on the verge of losing our fucking house!
Right, and triggers me into anger is not a bad beginning for her sentence, but again, her connection is faulty. She's angry because she feels fear. Those feelings are based on her thoughts and concerns that they will lose their house. However, after calling each other names and completely dismissing her feelings, the train is totally derailed, and at this point, there's no course correction possible. What they need now is a timeout. They need to spend time apart to calm their nervous system, and then they can return to the conversation, taking responsibility for their behaviors and communicating from an honest and more vulnerable place. He needs to take responsibility for deceiving her and dismissing her concerns, and she needs to take responsibility for being reactive and for name calling. Then they can apply the steps of the feedback wheel, sharing their feelings in a more differentiated way than "I feel sad when," and they can connect their feelings to their own thoughts, which made them feel the way they feel. The last step of the feedback process is to make a request and an agreement. They could make an agreement on how to move forward financially, especially when it comes to Pete's dad. That way they can take action together and resolve the issue while they create a sense of collaboration. If you want to learn more about the steps of the feedback wheel and improve your communication in conflict situations, click on one of my videos on that topic. And please don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, like or comment. Thank you so much, and see you next time.